You know that in spite of its desirable simplicity and uninterrupted source of power, your magnetic compass has predictable magnetic dip errors in certain flight maneuvers. Well, even with dip errors in mind, you still can't take what the compass says at face value without being aware of another factor. So let's see what else you need to consider when using your magnetic compass. You know that the compass needle is a magnet, and it behaves like one. Among other things, it's attracted to ferrous metals. For the benefit of us liberal arts majors, that means iron and steel. Now, that 300-pound chunk of metal under the cowl gives your compass plenty of ferrous metals to think about. When you're on northerly or southerly headings, your engine and the magnetic needle are in line. There's no problem. But when you're flying east or west, meaning the magnetic needle is crossways to the direction of the airplane, the iron and steel in the engine tries to pull the needle sideways out of its north-south alignment. If that isn't enough of a pain, don't forget that electricity flowing in a wire forms a magnetic field. A glance at the instrument panel with all the electronics and lights turned on suggests a mind-boggling mess of magnetic madness. Collectively, these errors are called deviation, and they're peculiar to each individual aircraft. Even identically equipped, consecutive serial numbers out the factory door may be different. As you might imagine, aircraft designers have long been on top of this magnetic morass. In a procedure called swinging and compensating the compass, mechanics can adjust the positions of the small magnets built into the compass case. This reduces the errors to near zero on north and south headings, and usually a maximum of 3 degrees on east-west headings. When finished, they prepare a little table that's attached to the face of the compass case. It tells you what to steer on the compass dial in order to fly a specific magnetic heading. You'll learn more about correcting for compass deviation later. But here's an important factor to keep in mind. Those deviation corrections were determined with the electrical system functioning normally. So if for some reason you turn off the alternator in flight, you could end up with significant deviation errors for which you have no correction. Be aware of potentially big errors if you have to do this. And finally, a common source of compass errors come from the pilot or passenger putting a ferrous metal object close enough to affect the magnetic needle. You should consider the glare shield above the instrument panel as a non-storage area. Find a better spot for your keys, ring binders, cameras, or what have you. You don't want these things to confuse your compass. So now you understand why so many cockpit tools and accessories are plastic, aluminum, or brass.